Alright YouTube, what's going on? It's Zaya here from Zaya&TheSteelers, and we are back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be talking about some final narratives before the Pittsburgh Steelers begin their regular season. So if you guys are Steelers fans or you enjoy the NFL in general, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. With all that said, we are literally less than 1 week away from the Pittsburgh Steelers finally beginning the season. And what an offseason it was, because you guys can see what I have on the screen here. I saw this last night when I was supposed to be asleep, and this is actually what sparked this whole video. Because we have Justin Fields, Najee Harris, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and George Pickens all looking back on Acrisure Stadium, formerly known as Heinz Field. They are all looking back, and they're on new teams, and we are sitting here in Pittsburgh with a bunch of new faces. But when we talk about each of these individual players, I know it's like, okay, we got to get over it. The season's about to go on. I kind of want to give one more take before we actually move forward because, for example, Justin Fields, we only got a year with the guy. We only got 3 or 4 games with him, and then, of course, preseason. I really wanted to keep him, man. I really did think Justin Fields was going to be the Steelers quarterback going forward. I thought that would be the smartest choice to make. However, there is a lot of doubts and a lot of negativity surrounding Justin Fields. And so if you guys don't believe that he was the right quarterback, maybe the Steelers, we felt like we didn't want to pay as much as the Jets did. We did make him an offer, though. So we thought a little bit that Justin Fields was going to be a guy, but just not as much as the New York Jets. And low-key, the fact that we made him an offer, and then the Jets, they gave him a little bit more money, and we talked about money and the TJ Watt and Micah Parsons thing, like Cameron Hayward, for example. We talked about how much this money means to the players, and so if he felt like the 10 more million that he's getting from the New York Jets was better than the deal in Pittsburgh, who am I to judge him? However, taking a deal to go to the Jets instead of playing for the Pittsburgh Steelers, to me, is asinine. So, low-key, I am out on Justin Fields, and we do play him week 1, and so obviously Justin Fields is going against Pittsburgh, and then Aaron Rodgers, he's going against the Jets. They're facing off. It's like last season when we had Russell Wilson, we played the Broncos, I think, in week 3, but Russ, he didn't end up playing. But you know what I'm saying? The NFL, they are huge on these revenge games, and so apparently this is going to be a revenge game. The next person up here is probably my most polarizing player, because if you guys have been watching the channel for a little bit, you know how I feel about Najee Harris. I love the guy. I thought he was good for the locker room. However, there was a different player, second string player, Jaylen Warren, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, who to me was absolutely flying off the screen. And then Najee Harris would come on, and for whatever reason, it just didn't look as good. So maybe it was the right place but wrong time for Najee Harris. He is definitely a premier back in the NFL, but it's just about where exactly you rank them. And is 1,000 yards, it's kind of like Mike Tomlin's winning season thing, is 1,000 yards really worth it when you're averaging 3.8 yards a carry? It is what it is. But I did like Najee once again for the locker room, but I just kind of saw it on the wall. Once we didn't extend his 5th-year option or whatever, I was like, okay, unless Najee has an 1,800 yard season, he's probably gone. And here he is now on the Los Angeles Chargers, only on a 1-year deal. I have no gripes with Najee Harris, low-key. Justin Fields, I'm a little upset at him because he chose the Jets, so fuck him, low-key, right? But Najee Harris, I hope he gets a good deal. I hope he plays well on the Chargers, and then he's able to go to a different team, if not the Chargers, and get a long-term deal, secure some long-term money. Because once again, he is an inspirational story. He was nothing but good to me for the Steelers locker room. There would be maybe 1 or 2 sound bites out of every 10 where Najee was kind of a head-scratching, thing to say. But other than that, I thought he was really good for the locker room. And then to the right of him, it's our guy, man. It's Minkah Fitzpatrick. And this is the one that last night when I saw this picture, I was tearing up low-key, because it's damn, bruh. We really lost Minkah. And did we have to? I don't think so. Now, of course, going into this offseason, a lot, and maybe even last season in general, we were kind of out on Minkah Fitzpatrick. The splash plays, they were not coming as much as they once did when we first got him, but that could be due to the position that we had him in. Instead of letting him roam around, we just kind of threw him in the back or whatever. We didn't let him make these splash plays that he once made in the past. And so when you're not getting interceptions, and then we see Derrick Henry stiff-arming you into the dirt every play and a lot of missed tackles, we started hating on Minkah Fitzpatrick. But once again, it wasn't until the guy left that it was was he actually that bad? Did we actually have to lose Minkah? Now, of course, we did get, Jonnu Smith and Jalen Ramsey for the guy. But to me, we need to absolutely succeed this season in order for me to really feel okay with losing Minkah Fitzpatrick. Because here we are seeing him back in that Dolphins jersey. we could have, if we just go 10 wins and lose in the first round of the playoffs, we low-key could have just did that with Minkah Fitzpatrick this season. You know what I'm saying? Like, Jonnu Smith is cool. Jalen Ramsey is cool. As the season goes on, hopefully I, become more attached to these players. But Minkah, he came at a time where our defense was like hot trash, right? Like, our defense was really, really bad. And then the moment we got Minkah, that's when like the switch flipped. Like, our defense was now the best part of the team. And if you guys remember that 2019 season when he fucked up his arm, and then like we had Mason Rudolph playing and Duck Hodges playing, they were horrible games to watch. Like, honestly, for the viewing experience on offense, it was really bad. But I swear, if you remember how good the defense was playing, it was like every drive the defense would have an interception, or every drive the defense would force a fumble and like we'd return it or some shit like that. We were literally winning games like 10-14. And when we talk about how good the Steelers defense is and how good it's going to be, because, now we got Jalen, we got Darius Slay, we still have Cam, Peyton Wilson, and TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith. Like, you can Patrick Queen, you can just name the names. However, that 2019 defense, to me, is still the best defense, since, of course, the James Harrison, Troy Polamalu times. Like, that's a whole other subject. But, like, in the last, 10 to 15 years, that 2019 defense was the best Steeler defense I've seen, and it was in large part to our guy, Minkah Fitzpatrick. And so I hope he succeeds on the Dolphins, low-key. Like, I hope he gets 100 interceptions. I hope the Dolphins end up being good for Rick's sake. I hope, Minkah, he's able to get another big deal and he becomes like a leader for the Dolphins like he was trying to do in Pittsburgh. Like, losing Minkah really, really hurt. And I think he was somebody who was good for our locker room. Now, if I'm mistaken about that, if other things have come out that, like, maybe he was the one who was causing all this drama, maybe he was the one who was like, made us lose our pep in our step. It's hard to believe, but maybe that's what happened, right? And so, I'm still sad about it. And once again, I seen this fucking picture last night and I saw Minkah, specifically Minkah, and I was just like, damn, bro. Like, did we really have to lose him? Did we really have to let Minkah Fitzpatrick go? And then finally, on the far right, it is George Pickens. And you guys know how I felt about this. I had the poster up. I had so much faith in George Pickens. We all know George Pickens is going to be good. And we all know that he's going to succeed in Dallas. But unlike Minkah Fitzpatrick, where I want Minkah to succeed, do I want George Pickens to succeed? Do we want George Pickens to succeed? Because, the way he left, the things he said about Pittsburgh, and like his attitude most of the time when he was on the team, he wouldn't block, he wouldn't like finish out his routes. And at the same time, you get it. Like, he's not getting the ball. But fam, we are the worst offense ever. Nobody is getting the ball. And so, like, for him to make it more about himself versus the team, it does leave like a sour taste in the mouth. Pause. But I love George Pickens, man. It is what it is. Like, I remember when we drafted him a few years ago and Mason Rudolph threw him that that touchdown in the quarter of the end zone in that first preseason game. It was like, oh man, we got a dog. And like, literally the only reason why we're able to draft him, the only reason why this guy is falling and the fact that he's traded is just his attitude. But when we talk about his performance, when we talk about his talent and his ability, he's like, he could literally be a top 10 to 5 wide receiver at the end of the season in Dallas. Like, if Dak Prescott, throwing him the ball, like they have a real quarterback now, and then like, CD Lamb, he's going to be garnishing a lot of attention. Like, there's a real chance that George Pickens is going to be like an absolute monster this season. And like I said, with Minkah, I'm hoping Minkah's a monster, but George Pickens, I kind of hope he sucks, honestly. I kind of hope he sucks, but like, I know he's not gonna. That's the thing. Like, I know George Pickens is gonna thrive, and I know he's gonna be good. And did we have to get rid of him? To me, no. I don't think we had to get rid of George Pickens. Now, if he's like just this horrible person for the locker room, that's one thing. But you see where we are now, and we're talking about like, hey, we need another wide receiver. We're begging for another wide receiver. Every single wide receiver that's available is tied to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we've gotten none of them. We didn't get Jacoby Myers. We didn't get like Trey Palmer. We didn't get like name. And we are rolling into the season with Roman, with Calvin, with DK, with Skowronek, and with Scotty Miller. And am I, happy about that? Not necessarily. However, I am willing to believe in the Steelers, and I'm willing to believe that what they saw going on with George Pickens and the negativity factor that he was bringing, it was just too much, and we had to get rid of him. And so I'm willing to believe the Steelers on this. However, we all know George Pickens is probably going to be good. He's probably going to thrive in Dallas, and then is he going to get a big deal? Just like Najee Harris, I believe George Pickens is on the final year of his deal as well, and like he is looking to get super duper paid, because you see what wide receivers are making now. He is looking to get like a max deal, like a top 10 receiver deal. And like, who's to say he's not like that because like he's young, he's coming into his own, and like if he can just get his attitude under control, this guy, he's going to be making a lot of money and probably a lot of plays in Dallas. And so for the final time to these people, to these players, Justin Fields, Najee Harris, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and George Pickens, good luck out there. Goodbye. And we will see, of course, we will see Justin Fields. We will see Minkah. Do we play the Cowboys this year? I'm not sure. I think we play all three of these guys, but not the Cowboys. Let me know down in the comments, do we play the Cowboys? But I know we face, obviously, the Jets in week 1. I know we face the Chargers at some point. And then I know we play the Dolphins on like a Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night, like primetime game. And so we're going to see at least 3 out of 4 of these players, right? And now, with all that said, I have another narrative I kind of want to talk about here because if you guys didn't see, Mr. Jaylen Warren has signed a contract extension. And so, first of all, let's get a gunshot because you guys know how I feel about Jaylen Warren. I love the guy. This camera is so like, look at this camera and then look at my webcam and like, tell me that doesn't piss you off because me looking at it right now, it pisses me off. I need to get a new camera. But anyway, Jaylen Warren has signed a contract extension. The guy went from, undrafted player to like fighting, scratching, and clawing in the preseason to becoming our RB2. And then, potentially being our best running back at the time we had Najee Harris. And now he's coming into it with still a shared backfield with Caleb Johnson. But he's the veteran now. Like he went once again from the undrafted guy trying to make a point to the veteran of our running back room. And I've prayed for this, right? I talked about Najee Harris, and, I keep it very, professional, right? Like when we're doing this. But now we're 12 minutes into the video, so anybody still watching is like a real Zaya&TheSteelers fan. Man, I couldn't stand Najee Harris. I couldn't stand Najee Harris going out there getting 2 yards while Jaylen Warren is hitting 15 every single time, right? And so when I'm telling you guys, I prayed for this. I really, really wanted it to happen. I really wanted Jaylen Warren to become that solo ball carrier. At the same time, I also believe Caleb Johnson, the rookie, is going to be pretty good, and I am excited for his success. However, if you guys think I prayed for Jaylen Warren to like become that lead back to finally get this opportunity, and then the moment he does, he starts getting slandered by Pittsburgh Steelers fans, you guys are out of your fucking mind because look at the response to Jaylen Warren getting a contract. He said, "What is the point of this signing? Why do this? Did I just read that JW has less than 1,800 yards in 48 games? That's 38 yards per game over 3 seasons. This can't be right. If so, his nickname should be RB3." And it's like, these aren't real people. These aren't real people, Isaiah. You don't have to. He was oh my God, he was the second string running back. But people, they don't give a fuck about context. They don't care. Like they're literally just saying this like how we used to say Najee Harris would have 1,000 yards, but when we look at his yards per carry, like it's just nonsense. How the hell are you going to be talking about Jaylen Warren's stats when he had to sit behind Najee Harris for most of the time, and our offensive line was horrible, and we're like sitting here plugging and playing different quarterbacks this whole fucking stretch of his career? And then another narrative that's going on, because you should be happy. There are a lot of happy people out here about the Jaylen Warren deal. However, this is another narrative. This dude fumbled one fucking time in the preseason, and then all of a sudden he has a fumble problem. Yeah, hopefully he don't fumble his way out of Pittsburgh. Wow, so Cam can't get more guaranteed money, but Mr. RB2 with fumble issues gets an extension. It's crazy. He needs to keep that ball closer to his body. Damn it. I don't have it up. I swear to God, I don't have it up. But you guys are fucking lying if you're saying that Jaylen Warren's fumble problems are like a real hindrance to this team. I don't even believe that there is a fumble problem, but even so, I watch every single game, and keep in mind, I might be biased because as I talked about, like I love Jaylen Warren. He's my second favorite player outside of Chris Boswell on the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. I love Jaylen Warren. I've been fighting. I've been arguing about why he should get more snaps. So keep in mind, I might be biased. But with the plays that he has actually made in NFL games, with the plays that he has actually done, with the runs that he has actually had, when did he have a fumbling problem? Like this dude dropped it in one preseason game where he didn't play the whole time. He played like one drive in the preseason on week 3. And he fumbled. Okay, obviously we don't want anybody to fumble. Obviously fumbles are bad and, they shouldn't happen. However, it is a part of the game. Like sometimes a running back is going to fumble. But for this narrative to be created that Jaylen Warren has a fumble problem, when all I did was pray to God every single season that we would like play him more, and now that we're doing that, we got to see this. I get you guys are excited about Caleb Johnson, but can we stop this nonsense? And now he signed an extension. He is going to be with the team for a little bit, for at least the next 3 seasons, unless we trade the guy. We need to fucking stop with this narrative. It is just absolute nonsense. It's malarkey. It's bullshit. It makes me really frustrated because once again, I talked about how much I love Jaylen Warren, how much I wanted him to play. And now that it's time to play, everybody's like literally trying to skip him for Caleb Johnson, who once again, I believe is going to be good. but not too much on Jaylen Warren, man. Like, the guy is a dog, and if you're a real Steelers fan, if you've been watching the games, you guys know what I'm saying. The fact that these people are just on Twitter and just saying this nonsense, I shouldn't let it get me, honestly. I shouldn't let it, like, hurt me the way it does. I shouldn't let it get in my head the way it does, because Steelers fans are prone to say anything. These are the same people who, like, didn't want to re-sign TJ Watt, and, like, they think Cameron Hayward's overpaid, and, like, they didn't want to re-sign him last year, and, like, they think Mason Rudolph is an actual quarterback and not a backup. Like, they think Mason Rudolph should start, and that Mike Tomlin sucks, and, like, he's actually not a good coach, and, like, that's what people think, and so I shouldn't let it, crowd my mind. However, I did have to talk about it, because I did not pray for Jaylen Warren to play just for him to get a contract extension, and all of the replies are, like, negative about Jaylen Warren. I thought we all loved the guy. I swear, last season we all loved Jaylen Warren, and he fumbles one time in the fucking preseason. And keep in mind, Caleb Johnson didn't have, like, this crazy-ass preseason either. If we want to be nasty, because that's what it's turning me into. It's making me nasty, because Caleb Johnson, it's not like he was fucking lighting it up in the preseason. He looked good. Jaylen Warren looks good. Like, it's cool. Like, they can both coexist. They can both be the guy for us. But yeah, it really made me upset. Anyway, here are our team captains going into the season. We have Cameron Hayward, we have Miles Killebrew, big Aaron Rodgers, and big TJ Watt. Obviously Cameron Hayward is going through this whole contract thing. We'll, see how that ends up going. But the real person, obviously, is big Aaron Rodgers. And I apologize for the glare, by the way. I'm, like, seeing it reflect off my headset. I apologize for that. But Aaron Rodgers, we didn't see him play in the preseason. We didn't see DK Metcalf play in the preseason. And so, honestly, I don't know what exactly to, like, believe about him, but, like, I am just hoping that this guy, he can just, go back in time, channel that MVP the last 2 years that he had on the Green Bay Packers, and just bring that to Pittsburgh. All he has to do is win a playoff game, because I know for a fact, outside of injury, outside of, like, a super duper collapse, we are going to win at least 9 games. I think we're going to win 10 or 11, but we're going to win at least 9. We're going to be there at the end of the season. We will be playing meaningful games in, like, December and January. It's a fact about the Steelers. Aaron Rodgers, we've had Kenny Pickett, we've had Mitchell Trubisky, we've had Mason Rudolph, we've had Russell Wilson, we've had Justin Fields, we've had all of these quarterbacks post Big Ben. Aaron Rodgers, just get the job done. Pittsburgh Steelers, just get the job done. Truthfully, we got the channel and I love football, so, like, I'm going to be talking about the Steelers all season. However, after what happened last season, how excited I was and how much we were all tricked about it, I don't give a flying fuck how we get to the playoffs. I don't care if we win 10 games and, like, look dominant, or I don't care if we barely get there. The only thing that matters to me is when we get there, we get that playoff game off. And Aaron, if you can do that for the Steelers, you can see how, like, passionate we are, how much we're dying for success again, like, how much we're praying for this. Like, Aaron, if you can get the job done, not only are you going to get your jersey retired in Green Bay, we might fuck around and put your number in the rafters just because you have the career you've had and the fact that you came to Pittsburgh and succeeded. We might fucking do it, because he is an all-time player. He's like a top 5 quarterback to ever live in the history of the NFL. And so if he can get the job done in Pittsburgh, we will all be very excited. And by the way, TJ Watt, we resigned him. He looks so scary on this picture, honestly. I'm going to turn it now because I'm scared of TJ Watt. But anyways, I think that is going to do it for me for this video. Once again, I just kind of wanted to talk about the Steelers a little bit going into this regular season. Next week, next Sunday, we will be back with a post-game recap, and I'm ecstatic, honestly. Like, my life revolves around football, it revolves around gambling, and it revolves around making chicken wings, because I'm gonna go make some wings. Anyways, peace out, guys. I will see you in the next video. I may go live tonight with some NFL in general stuff. If you guys saw my last post, it was like NFL in general. I'm thinking about making that like a live stream format, because I'll talk about it on the live. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here now. Peace out, guys. Thank you for watching this video. This has been Zaya from Zaya and the Steelers, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.